Today, I want to give you a sneak peek behind the scenes of the Celine experience and give you a rig rundown of all the gear that I use.
Hey, James here from eBass Guitar. I'm out on the road with the Celine Dion experience today in Kent, and I've been doing this gig now for a while, and I've had a ton of you asking me, what gear do I use out on the road? So what I thought I'd do today is take you through the gear that I'm using live and give you a rig rundown video. So let me show you the bass I use for the lion's share of the show. This is my Sadowski 5-string. It is a Japanese bass that I bought in 2009 when I was out in Los Angeles, and I absolutely love it. It is a PJ, so it has the precision pickup for all the thud, and for the punch, it has the jazz pickup here. Let me give you a demo of what this sounds like in isolation. Plenty of opportunities in this show for those low notes, and they really sing through the PA, so I absolutely love using this bass. The other bass that I use on this show is my Overwater fretless bass here. Overwater made this for around about 2009, 2010. So let me plug it in, give you a sound, check out what it sounds like. So there's some beautiful fretless moments in this show, and this bass really works nicely. So the modification I've made to this bass, I have Sadowski preamps in both basses here. Obviously the Sadowski came with its own preamp, and I changed this probably about a year ago, so both basses largely respond the same when I'm on a gig, which makes it much easier to switch between instruments if I know the preamps and the basses are going to do exactly the same thing. Now, amplifier wise, I have my Aguilar rig here. So I have the Tone Hammer 500 and the two SL112s here. I really love this combination because you get the speaker lower on the floor to give you the vibration, and then the punch here of the upper speaker coming through your legs. It's a great amp, and tonight I'm really excited because the sound guy has given me full permission to really whack it up loud on stage, so it really has a big stage sound where I am. One of the things I've always found with working with backline on stage is to have a good relationship with the main sound engineer out front and be guided by what level he wants, because the volume of this rig here can make or break the mix out front. So what I do find is this varies from night to night.
So guys, I just want to break off for a second because I have something super important. Over at eBass Guitar, I've written 7 books. You can see some of them up on the wall behind me there. And I would love you to grab them. So please head over to ebassguitar.com and check out the store there. That's ebassguitar/store. And I want to give you a very special coupon code so you can grab 10% off. So enter the coupon code YT10 at the checkout to grab 10% off eBass Guitar books.
Now, let's talk about my pedal board briefly. The front end of my pedal board is a Shure wireless system, the GLD X16, I believe it here. Here is the belt pack here. I love this because it charges on USB-C, super fast, and you can really get about 8 hours out of it. So you're not worrying about changing batteries. So on the board, you have the receiver there. It's really small and also doubles as a tuner as well. So that's my main tuner on the board. Then the next part of my signal chain is I use the HX Stomp in there. So I'm using some of the compression and some of the preamp in the pedal board. Then I've got 2 extra pedals on here, the Boss OC2, which is a classic Octavider pedal, which in my view sounds a lot better than the ones on the HX Stomp. And I have an Aguilar filter twin for those old school 70s funky sounds that I use every now and again. Now there are 2 more kits of kit on my pedal board here. The last bit to do with my tone is the Sansamp Bass Driver DI. Now this whole show is on in-ear monitors, which you can see here. And having a preamp on my pedal board, I find the most useful thing, so I can adjust the sound on the fly if I need a little bit more mid-range, a little bit more gain. When I'm working on in-ear monitors, I can find subtle changes can be the difference between having an average gig and a great gig. So I always work with a preamp on the board so I can just get that extra level of control. Now the final device that's sitting on my pedal board is an AirTurn BT200 Bluetooth page turning pedal, because this gig is mostly a reading gig. Everything is notated. So I'm looking at an iPad here quite a lot of the time during the show. I played the show a lot, so I know quite a bit of it, but I'm always referring back so I can get the detail in there. And this pedal allows me to page turn without moving my hands or having to touch the iPad during the show. So you'll see my feet just darting forward every now and again to page turn. It's a really great device.
So if you want to put together the bass guitar rig possible, I've written a completely free bass guitar gear guide, which I want to give you a copy of for absolutely nothing. All you need to do is click the link, which is in the description below this video, and you can grab your free copy.
So finally, let's talk monitoring. So this show is on in-ear monitors, and these are my ACS Emotion headphones, which I absolutely love. They have Armitage, I believe it's called, small drivers in there, and then a dynamic driver too. So the bass sounds absolutely huge, particularly when you combine it with my Aguilar amp rig behind here. I wear a belt pack, a Sennheiser one of these that the sound guys gives me so I can move around the stage. So I'm completely wireless, so I've got wireless bass and wireless headphones too, which gives an incredible sense of freedom when you're on the stage. So you may have noticed over here, there is one more iPad. I have one iPad for my main show music, and then there's another iPad right here, which controls my monitor mix. The great thing about these apps these days is I can have control of every single microphone on the stage, so I can adjust as the show goes on. So let me show you my monitor mix for the show coming up here. We're going to group 1, and everything's muted at the moment, but if you go across there, you can see the singer, things like the click track in there, which I'll show you shortly, the backing tracks that are used in the show, and then we have the drums here. So every microphone on the drums can be controlled. Then you have my bass there. Naturally, that's normally the loudest thing. I try not to ride it too loud because I try and be a bit conscious of my own bass level in the mix so I can really listen to everything else. But this gives such a level of clarity and precision to the mix. And if something really isn't working, you can get it on the iPad and actually really control it. It's an amazing way of working, which I'm seeing more and more these days. So let me show you some of the sound check that we did earlier. You can listen to the bass mix as it's coming together. This is Love Can Move Mountains.
So what I'd love to do now is give you something really unique, an insight into actually what I'm hearing. I've got a recording of my in-ear monitor mix here, and there's a beautiful French song in the first half called Pourquoi tu mon ami, I hope I pronounced that correct, which has a piano and vocal introduction. So I'm going to play you the audio from that, and you can see me adjusting the levels. Listen out for the click track, which ties everything together. I'll show you the screenshot of the mixer that we're using, and you'll see the real power of being able to adjust every single microphone and input on the fly. It really is an amazing way of working. So check this out.
All right, let's go for it.
1, 2, 3, play.
J'ai rempli tous les mots, j'ai accompli ma chine. Raisonnable et nouveau, j'ai torché par la Chine. Que les choses sont chantières, que les fleurs paniquent, l'automne d'hiver.
So I'd love to show you what my overwater fretless sounds like in action. So this is the outro to You're the Voice by John Farnham, where I'm really having some fun with some fretless bass fills. Check it out. wonderful. Let's check out the accessories I use. These are the unsung heroes, but really do make things work smoothly on stage. So here goes.
In terms of strings, I use Elixir strings. I absolutely love them because they seem to last ages. I don't sweat too much, so I've got Elixirs on both my 5-string and the fretless over there. In terms of accessories, I use Neotech straps with the strap locks there, which I think are great as well. And then I've also just discovered these Neotech pouches, which are really great for wireless systems as well. In terms of cases, I love these mono gig bags here. This is a mono sleeve, and this is the mono M80 Vertigo, which I think is a great case. Loads of protection. 2 more accessories you'll see me using here. I have everything on my pedal board mounted on a pedal train mini pedal board, which I think is fantastic. Sits in this gig bag here. And this is the mono tick, which I've just discovered, which keeps all of my cabling and all of the other accessories that I carry around on the gig. So to wrap up, the Overwater 5-string does the lion's share of the show. I do a couple of songs on my Overwater fretless there. Both of them have Sadowski preamps there. I have my pedal board down there with the GLDX 16 in there for the wireless system. I don't use too much effects, but the crucial thing on my board, which I love, is the Sansamp Bass Driver DI, just to really tweak in the headphones. Then I have my Aguilar stack there of 2 112s, the bottom cab to really get the floor shaking, and then the top cab to give a little bit more precision and punch, and also a backup if my headphones were to fail. Tone Hammer 500, and then 2 iPads, one for the music and then the other one to control the monitor mix here. If you've enjoyed this video, please head over to ebassguitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus. That's my private members training program, which will teach you everything from playing your very first notes to playing full songs and everything you need to get out there gigging. I'll put a link to the Bass Lab Plus in the description below and give you the opportunity to take it for a road test for it completely free for 14 days. So I'll put a link in the description below.